Hello everybody, it's Craig Maynard and I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about how to do weldments, which is a very cool feature in Solidworks. We're going to use weldments here to make a structural steel table out of this square stock steel and a nice 4x8 sheet of steel on the top. Now, if I was to do this the traditional way by extruding out this square stock and making the gussets, making all these pieces and then mating them all together, it'd be quite difficult. But with weldments, much easier. So let's start right now by creating a new part. So here we have a brand new part ready to go. And I'm just going to go to my top plane right here. We'll go normal 2. So we're looking straight down. That looks fine. And just make the top plane visible so I can keep an eye on it. And we have no weldments here yet. So right click somewhere up here on the toolbar, select weldments, and you'll see weldments now shows up. Now we're going to use a 3D sketch to create the outline for our table. So first thing I want to do, I think, is let's have a look at let's view our origin. I'd like to see where the middle of this thing is. So there's my origin, right there. Very good. So we'll do a 3D sketch and we're going to draw a rectangle, a center rectangle right there. And let's just set this thing up so it's 48 inches by 96 inches. And there we have it. There we have our table starting to be formed. Okay, now we want to have some legs on there. So let's draw legs. We're going to choose a line and we'll hit tab. So I'm now being able to draw on the other dimension. I'm going to draw 4. I'm going to drop 4 little legs down from the side of the table. Yeah, just like that. And one more leg, just like that. So theoretically, we have 4 little legs ready to draw, ready to go. Let's take those sticky legs and let's make them 32 inches. There we go. And I'll just select this leg and we'll just make them all the same length here. So like that one and that one and that one and that one, and we'll just make them all equal. There we go. Now I want to have some cross bracing in this too, so I'm going to create a couple more lines here. Let's go from the center point here and we'll go back onto the proper face. Good. And a line from this point here across the middle to the other side, and from this point here across the middle. Let's see if we can get this more visible. I'll start over again, and we'll start from midpoint of that line to the midpoint of that line. All right, that's good. And we'll say yes. Now we have a wonderful table right here ready to go. Now, and we don't have to view that plane anymore. I'm just turn that off. Don't need to see that. All right, now let's put our structural members in. It's really easy to put the structural members in place. So I choose structural members and I get this menu item right here. Now in this case you can choose ISO or ANSI, or we're going to choose ANSI inches. We're going to put in square tube. It could be angle iron, C channel, S section. That's an I-beam, rectangular tube, pipe. But we're going to just put in square tube right here. And the size, according to our drawing, is 2 by 2 by 1/4 inch. Okay, and then we'll start by selecting the pieces that we want to have around the edge of the table. And there we go. We can see that we have a nice miter cut right there all ready to go. Now I could choose a miter cut or I could choose an end butt if you want. You can see how it's changed now. It's just there's no 45-degree cut in there. Or the end butt on the other side. Okay, and if you look at it right from the side, if you look very closely at it, I'll get a little closer. I can choose a simple cut between them, or I can actually cope the thing. If I cope it, you see it actually wraps around, which is beautiful, but that's not what we want. We're not going to cope it. We're just going to leave it as a standard miter cut, just like that. Okay. And next, we're going to create a new group. Now, we're going to do the legs, but to do the legs, we have to do them as individual groups. So I'm going to create a new group, one for each leg. So a group for this one, new group for this one, new group for this one, and a new group for, have I created that new group? New group for this one. So now if I go through my groups, you can see I should have all my legs created. Okay, now I'm getting close to what I want to see. Now, there's a problem though, and the problem is if you look at the blue line, this blue line that represents our 3D sketch, it runs right through the middle of all the channel, right? Now, I don't want it to run through the middle. I want to put a 4x8 sheet of steel on top of this. And if I run it through the middle, the 4x8 steel is going to stop a little short. So I want this blue line to be on the outside edges. Now, that's super easy to do. Let me show you how to do that using Weldments. I'm going to choose the group that represents the 4 bars on the top. Now, you roll down to the bottom here, and we're going to choose Locate Profile. And now it says, well, that's where it's set now. Where do you want me to set it? You see a little star right here which represents the edge. Click on that. And now you see the blue line has moved to the edge of the channels, which is exactly what I want to have. 4x8 on the outside edges. 4x8 on the outside edges. Now I'm going to have to do the same thing for my 4 legs. And I have to have each leg as a separate group to do this, so I'm just going to select that leg, where we are, that leg right there, I guess. There we go. Awesome. And I'm going to locate profile, and again, I'm going to select this corner, which is going to move over to this corner. So you see that little star right there, click on it. Now the leg moves in. And the next group, group 3, locate profile, right there. Okay, it's moved in beautifully. Okay, now we'll just keep going. Group 4, locate profile, right there. And finally, we'll go into group 5. Group 5, locate profile, and there we have it. So now the 4 legs are ready to hold up our, oh my gosh, I have a crooked leg. Ready to hold up my my table. Now I'm going to see if I can fix that leg here. I'm going to go back into this 3D sketch right here, and I'm going to drag this thing. So if I choose this leg and make this leg here, and I make those guys parallel, that's going to straighten out my leg. There we go. Now it looks like we have the 4 legs, and they're all parallel as they should be. Must have been a problem doing the 3D sketch. Okay. Now, the next thing we noticed here, which is kind of weird, is the legs themselves actually go up into the steel. They actually become part of the corner, and that's not good. So we want to get that trimmed off. So to do that, we're going to do something called trim extend. So to show you trim extend, what we're going to do is we're going to select trim extend. It says what body do you want to trim? This one. And what face do you want to trim it to? Well, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to choose this face right on the bottom. I might say that face. And now you see the leg stops at the top part of the table, just like that. Okay. And let's do another trim extend here on the other one. So go trim extend. This one on what face? This face right here. And we say yes, and it discarded it. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for this one. Trim extend this leg on which face? This face? Yes. And finally, trim extend this one. Have I done this one yet? And which face? That face? Yes. Okay. So now we have it. It's all ready to go. And now that trim extend has made sure that from this point at the top right down to the bottom here is exactly 32 inches. It's automatically cut the 2 inches off the legs to make the top height and the bottom, top to the bottom, 32 inches. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to put in an L channel across these two things to support the tabletop. It's not going to be strong enough if I just put the steel right across here. It'll kind of bend in the middle. So let's do that. So we're going to go back to structural members, and in this case, I want to put in ANSI inch, and I want to put in a L channel angle iron. There we go. And the size is going to be 2 by 2 by 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to do two groups. So I'm going to choose this one. There we go. And we're going to create a new group, and I'm going to choose this one. And there we go. Now, if you look at the angle iron, it looks like it's sort of upside down here. Oops. So let's go, we'll just rotate that thing. I'd say 180 degrees should do it. And let's look at my other one, the other group. So if we go back to group 1, is it upside down? No, it looks like it's going to be okay. Okay, so now we can trim these ones off. We can have to trim them down too. So I'll just say yes. There we go. Beautiful. They look great. And you see this thing's all been cut down there. This piece here has been cut to fit in there. See it? See, it's been cut to fit in there. And this piece, of course, just passes right through. So it looks like it's going to be just what we want to have. Let's actually cut this into two pieces. And if you want to know, if you want to see it, you can actually look up here at the cut list, and you can see all of these shapes that have been created. And there's the one that's been cut in half. You see, right? And we're all set. So let's keep going. One would think I'm actually building this table upside down, and I think I am, but we'll just keep moving forward. Now we have to cut these things down. We have to do trim extend here, so we're going to choose this one right here, and let's just go to a body this time. We'll go to this body, and how do we want to have it? We'll just leave it like this. We won't do any fancy coping. We'll just leave it. We can put a weld gap in there if we want to, which means if you look at this, if I zoom in on it, the weld gap is going to give me a little bit of space here. I'll just increase it so you can actually see it, which could be used for welding. You know, I'll give you a little bit of space to put the weld bead. But we're not going to do a weld gap. We'll just butt it up against there like that. And we say good. We're going to go to the other side now, and you see it has to be trim extended too. So I'll choose this and this body right here. So I'll say yes. Oh, I got this before. If we turn off the allow extensions, that should work. If you see that error show up, just allow extensions and turn off allow extensions, and it'll fix it up. Okay, let's trim extend this one, and the body, we'll trim it up to here. Don't worry about extensions, and we'll say yes. And finally, we got one more part down here. So we'll select that, trim extend, body to be trimmed is that one, and the trimming boundary will be this one, and we say yes, and now we have the tabletop almost perfect. All right, so it's starting to look like a tabletop, all right. Now, next thing we want to do, the next thing I'd like to show you is another cool feature called an end cap. Okay. So the end cap, you can see right here, this allows us to stick a little cap on the bottom of these legs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the end cap right here, and we're just going to click on that, and you can see it's created a little piece of steel that goes on the end. Now I can have it in 3 places. I can butt it onto the end of my leg, which means it's going to be 32 inches plus the 1/4 inch for that end cap, or I can go like this, which means it'll actually shorten my leg by a 1/4 inch. So to the end of this is 32 inches, you know, including the end cap. Or I can go like this and actually move this sucker right up inside the body of my leg. Okay, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it this way, so it's 32 inches, including the end cap. And let's give it a little corner treatment here. If you look at it, see the corners of this end cap. Let's just round them instead, or we could chamfer them instead of just leaving them square like that. Okay, I think a fillet would be really nice there. So we'll just say yes. We have a beautiful end cap on there with some space around it for welding. Let's go over here, and we'll stick an end cap on this, and we'll chamfer it. Fillet that too. Fillet would be good. There we go, like that. Go down to this one. End cap onto there. Corner treatment. Fillets, good. Yes. And over to here, we'll put one more end cap on here to there. Corner treatment, fillet, and that's good. So now we have little caps on the end of our legs. Wonderful. Okay. Well, let's put some gussets on here now. Those legs won't be very strong if we leave them like that. So I'm going to put some gussets on the corner. There's my gusset tool right there. So easy to do. All I'm going to do here is get underneath so I can see it a bit more clearly. And I'm going to select gussets. And it says, where are the supporting faces? Well, I'll just zoom in here. Here and here are the supporting faces. There's my gusset. That's a little small, so I'm going to make it 3 inches by 3 inches, like that. And it's again a bit small still. I think this gusset should be 6 by 6 inches. Let's make it 6 inches by 6 inches. And there's the gusset. Now, if I want to, I can have the gusset. I can set any of these parameters and profiles here for the gusset if I like. Polygon profile or anything I like, triangular profile, which is what we've got right here. We can also change the offset, so we can put it on the inside, we can put it on the outside, or we can stick it right in the middle. And that's where we're going to do it. We can also offset it any amount we want to, so we won't worry about that. So there we have our first gusset. Now I'm going to pause the recording for a second, and I'm going to go around and put gussets on all four legs, both sides. All right, we have the gussets now on all 8 positions. And let's just check our cut list right here. There's our gussets right there, and there's more gussets over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this cut list right here has got all our end caps put on it. So you see everything's all ready to go. Now, the last thing I want to do with this lovely table is to put the top on it. So that should be quite simple. All we have to do is go into a sketch. So let's go to the top plane. Okay, we'll just start a sketch on there, and I will choose the corner rectangles. So we'll go here, corner rectangle. From this point down to this point right here. Make sure I've got it. There we go, right there. Yeah, I think I hit those corners. Cool. And now let's do a nice extrusion from there, and let's bring it up a 1/4 inch, 0.25 inches, like that. I'm going in the opposite direction. I believe I should turn it around. And what have we got? We got it in the right direction. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, the tabletop should be 4x8 by a 1/4 inch. So we'll say yes. And there we have our tabletop. Okay. Now we've got our table built, ready to go. It's looking really good. Last thing we might want to do is get a cut list actually generated from this thing, and we can do that automatically if you want to create it by doing a drawing. Okay, so let's try that out. Let's go to File, Make Drawing from the Part, and we'll just save the file. Okay, we'll just save that part. And we'll continue on. Let's make it a B sheet. 17 by 11 should be good. 11 by 17, we'll say OK. And it says what drawings do you want? Now, of course, I made the mistake of drawing it with my legs up in the air. My table happens to be sitting on its back, but we won't worry about that now. We'll just let's just drag a front view out there, and we'll do a top view from that, and we'll put a side view over on this side. And again, my apologies for doing it upside down. That's what you do. Okay, and now let's do a cut list. So we're going to go Insert, Table, Weldment Cut List, and it says to select a drawing. So I'm going to select that drawing right there, and I'm going to say make a cut list, fine, as welded, and start at number 1, and we say OK. And there is our cut lists. Okay. And you can see all the parts are there. There's our square tubes and everything like that, all ready to go. Now, next thing I'd like to do is let's put some bubbles on there. So we're going to go Auto Balloon. Now you can see all the elements of our balloon, of our table show up. So there's number 3, and there's number 7, and there's number 2, and away we go. I'll just move this up a little higher here. This one up a little higher, so it's in the way. And that's a very, very quick and dirty discussion on how to do weldments. It really works very well and takes a lot of load off your actual design when you're creating new objects in Solidworks. So I hope you get some use out of this little video. Try it out. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you next time.